Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into a huge topic, something you see everywhere, from corporate websites to HR handbooks, workplace wellness. And it's way more than just a buzzword. It's a massive, multi-billion-dollar industry built on this promise to make us all healthier and happier at work. Companies are basically in an arms race to offer the coolest perks. Think kombucha on tap, nap pods, you name it. But here's the big question we're going to tackle. With all this focus on well-being, are we kind of missing the point? Are we actually investing in the right things? Well, let's find out.
So, I want you to just pause and really think about this for a second. Let's look past the flashy stuff. Yeah, a discounted gym membership is nice, a free yoga class, great way to de-stress. But when the stakes get really high, when an emergency actually happens and safety's on the line, what do those perks do? Do they protect your people in the moments that truly matter? This is the core challenge we're going to unpack today. That gap between what looks like care and what protection actually feels like.
All right, so here's our roadmap for today. We're going to kick things off with the basics. What even are workplace wellness programs? Then we'll put all those popular perks under a microscope and see what the data says about where they work, and more importantly, where they fall flat. From there, we'll go beyond benefits to something way more powerful: company culture. And that is going to lead us to the most critical and honestly often forgotten piece of this whole puzzle: safety. We'll really zoom in on the ultimate test of a company's values, what happens right after an accident. And then we'll wrap it all up to redefine what it really means to take care of your team.
Okay, let's get into it. The whole idea of workplace wellness is built on this super appealing concept, the win-win promise. I mean, for employees, the win is pretty obvious, right? You get resources to improve your health, you feel supported. For employers, the win is a healthier bottom line. The thinking goes that healthier employees are going to be more productive, they'll take fewer sick days, they'll have lower insurance costs, and they're more likely to stick around. On paper, it's just this perfect, beautiful relationship. So, let's just get a formal definition down so we're all on the same page. When we're talking about a wellness program, we're really talking about this whole collection of stuff a company offers. It's a super broad term. It could be anything from health screenings to mindfulness apps or even workshops on personal finance. The main idea is to make it easier for employees to make healthy choices. The theory is, if the company gives you the tools and a little motivation, you'll use them, and that leads to that awesome win-win we were just talking about.
And this slide right here, this is the standard playbook. These are the greatest hits of workplace wellness. I'm sure you've all seen them. Gym discounts are probably the #1 most common perk. Then you have things like on-site flu shots, you've got programs that target specific behaviors like quitting smoking or managing stress, and lately, you even see companies offering, cash rewards or cheaper insurance if you participate. All of this stuff is tangible, it's easy to market, and it sends a signal that the company cares. But does it actually work?
And that is where things get really interesting. Because look, offering a bunch of perks is one thing, but actually getting real, measurable results? That is a whole different ballgame. It's time to look past the fancy brochures and see what the hard data says. What does the research tell us about the real-world impact of these programs? It's time to look beyond the surface, because honestly, the results might just surprise you. Okay, now this is fascinating. Major studies went out and put these programs to the test, and what they found was this huge disconnect. The programs were aiming to improve sleep, encourage healthy eating, reduce stress, and get people moving. But look at the results. They found basically no significant impact on how well people slept or what they ate. And for stress, the results were all over the place, totally inconsistent. The only two areas where they saw real significant success were in getting people to exercise more and manage their weight.
And this chart just drives that point home. We see an 8.3% bump in employees who are exercising regularly, and a pretty impressive 13.6% increase in people actively managing their weight. Now, don't get me wrong, those are good things. We absolutely want that. But it also shows a really narrow area of success, right? These programs are pretty good at motivating people to hit the gym, but they're not really moving the needle on these foundational parts of health like nutrition, sleep, and mental well-being, which you could argue are just as important, if not more so.
So what does this all tell us? The big takeaway here is that you can't just launch a program, send out one email, and then check the wellness box. It just doesn't work that way. Real engagement doesn't come from a pamphlet you leave in the break room. It comes from constantly educating people, making them aware of what's available, and having leaders who actually use and promote these things. Without that deep, consistent effort, even the best perks are just background noise that everybody learns to ignore.
And this naturally leads us to a much bigger and more powerful idea.
What if we stop thinking about wellness as just a list of add-ons and start thinking of it as part of the very fabric of the company culture? What if well-being wasn't something you did outside of work with a company discount, but was actually built into how you work every single day? This is the huge shift from just providing programs to creating a genuine culture of care.
And here's what that actually looks like in the real world. It's not about expensive perks, it's about smart, thoughtful policies. Offering hybrid work isn't just a convenience, it's a wellness strategy that gives people autonomy. No meeting Wednesdays? That's not just for productivity. It's a mental health break that gives you space for deep work and reduces that constant frantic stress. It's about leaders who actually ask, hey, how are you really doing? And then stick around to listen to the answer. It's about having flexible time off that people feel safe taking. These things cost way less than premium gym chains, but they deliver a much higher return in trust and well-being.
Now, I'm genuinely curious to hear from all of you on this. We've all seen the standard stuff, but what about the really cool, innovative, culture-first ideas? Maybe your company has a policy that's just been a total game changer for you. So what's the most effective, non-traditional wellness benefit you've ever seen or experienced? Drop in the comments below. Let's get a conversation going and share some ideas.
Okay, now we need to make a really hard pivot. We've talked about perks, we've talked about culture, and that's all great. But all of it, every single bit of it, rests on one foundational pillar. A pillar that is completely non-negotiable, and yet it's often the last thing people bring up when they talk about wellness. And that pillar is safety. Because you can offer all the meditation apps in the world, but if your employees don't feel fundamentally safe at work, you've got nothing.
Let's just start with this number to really ground ourselves in reality. Billions. With a B. That's the estimated annual cost to employers in the US alone from workplace substance abuse. And that number isn't just some abstract figure on a spreadsheet. It represents real-world stuff. Projects getting delayed, materials being wasted, deadlines being missed, and, worst of all, accidents that can change somebody's life in a split second. This is the real financial cost of not having a safe environment.
But the damage goes so much deeper than just the money. An unsafe environment creates these ripples that touch every single part of the business. It leads to more errors, whether it's a small mistake in a report or a critical one on a factory floor. It dramatically increases the risk of accidents for everybody, not just one person. Productivity just plummets because people are distracted, and trust completely erodes. Morale takes a total nosedive because who wants to work in a place where they feel like their safety isn't priority number one? It's like a poison that just slowly eats away at everything you're trying to build.
And this right here is the absolute bottom line. A commitment to a substance-free workplace isn't just another policy in the handbook. It is the bedrock. It's the foundation that everything else is built on. It's the prerequisite for trust, for focus, for productivity. Trying to build a culture of wellness on top of a shaky safety foundation is like trying to build a skyscraper on sand. All the perks and programs in the world are just window dressing if this fundamental promise of safety isn't solid.
Now, a company's true commitment to safety is never just a nice statement on their website. It's revealed when things get tough, and there is no tougher situation, no greater pressure cooker than the moments right after a workplace accident. This is the ultimate test. When seconds count, how your company responds tells your employees everything they need to know about what you truly value.
And for way too many companies, this is what that test looks like. It is pure chaos. An accident happens, the first question is, wait, is this a DOT thing? Do we even have to test? While someone is frantically trying to figure that out, a manager is starting this desperate phone tree, calling a list of mobile collectors, trying to find anyone who's available right now. If that fails, now they're trying to get a ride for an employee who might be injured or shaken up, sending them to a clinic, just adding more stress and more delay. Then comes the agonizing wait. Hours, sometimes days, for results to come back on paper. And all the while, the compliance clock is ticking, and this mountain of paperwork is just piling up. It's inefficient, it's stressful, and it's incredibly high risk for everyone involved.
Let's be crystal clear about the stakes here. Every minute of delay, every moment of confusion, it just adds more risk. It compromises the safety of everyone else on site. It puts you in serious jeopardy of missing strict regulatory deadlines, which can lead to huge fines. And most importantly, it completely fails the employee involved, piling a logistical nightmare on top of what is already one of the worst days of their career. This whole chaotic manual process is the exact opposite of wellness. But what if there was a better way? What if instead of scrambling, you can act with total precision and speed?
This one's for everyone out there on the front lines. The managers, the safety directors, the folks in HR. When you think about that chaotic scene, what's the one thing that keeps you up at night? Is it the fear of not being able to find a collector in time? Is it the anxiety over all that compliance paperwork? Or is it just the sheer stress of trying to manage a crisis?
Let us know in the comments what your single biggest post-accident challenge is. Your experience here is so valuable.
So as we start to bring this all together, it's pretty obvious that our definition of employee care really needs an upgrade. We have to move beyond just the surface level of perks and even past the important layer of culture and ground everything we do in an unbreakable promise of protection. We've got to shift our focus from the nice-to-haves that look good in a job posting to the absolute must-haves that protect our people when they are at their most vulnerable.
And this quote right here, it just perfectly captures the spirit of what we've been talking about. True, meaningful workplace wellness, the kind that builds real loyalty and trust, isn't found in a vending machine with healthy snacks. It's found in the confidence your employees have that if, God forbid, something goes wrong, there's a system ready to go. A system designed to respond instantly, to protect them, and to manage that crisis with efficiency, clarity, and genuine care.
So, the ultimate takeaway is this: the most powerful, most meaningful, and most impactful form of employee care you can possibly offer is a rock-solid safety system. Imagine a system where the second an accident occurs, a patented app lets you instantly find and dispatch the nearest available collector. A system that gives you real-time status updates and geofence tracking so you know exactly what's happening every second of the way. A system that digitizes all the compliance and gets rid of that paperwork scramble. That is what a modern promise of protection looks like. It replaces chaos with control, confusion with clarity, and anxiety with assurance. That is the new standard for workplace wellness. If you were inspired by this video and it gave you a new perspective on what it means to truly care for a team, please do us a huge favor and hit that like button, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel Reedy Collect for more explainers like this. Feel free to share this video with any leader, manager, or business owner who needs to hear this message. Thank you so much for your time today.